3 hours today. I'll read till 3 a.m. I'll read till 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Please don't do those things now. Because right now for interview, nothing should put you down. Nothing should make you feel that I should have done that. I should have done this. That feeling should never come. I'm doing the right thing. Let me do the right thing. That's all. As simple as that. Keep it very simple. So do not plan your day also too much. Today this much I'll read. Then next day morning, what you know, Arey, I planned so much, but I read this much only. So under plan your days also for interview. Because confidence is the only thing which matters now.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for saying these words, sir. Because since last few days, sir, I was like headless in which direction to go, like what to prepare and what not. Because
I'm telling you, you are not going to prepare anything. I'm telling you, I have seen so many things. So basically, now, I was telling about the, I see, because I've taken two batches now, third batch also I was taking. So I'm not sure what I have discussed. Have I discussed how to prepare with newspaper, how to take topics? And I have
yes,
discussed
sir.
with this batch, right?
Yes, sir.
So
No,
same, you do
sir.
the same. No,
Sir, I
Munish,
am. No, sir. I have first. This is my first day to join this batch,
yeah.
and sir, you can't discuss this because it's my first interaction with you.
Yeah. So, Munish, I'll do one thing. I will take an extra 15, 20 minutes at the end with you separately. You can, others can leave the call. I can, because I don't want to disturb others, this thing. Okay.
Okay.
But only important thing is that newspapers also, you need to select what you have to do. I've told that how to select also. I showed a option also. And how to frame questions and answer that question. That is very, very important. If you can work on those lines, that's all. Your morning is done. Over. Be relaxed with that. Do not overplan. Morning, I will do, after this, I'll do these through two topics. I will read IAS Daily or Vision IAS monthly compilations. Okay, December I'll read, November I'll read. Please don't make such stupid plans. I'm telling you. Don't make such plans, because if you start reading on monthly compilation, that itself will take 1 or 2 days. So you should be realistic. Don't think that in one day I'll finish all these things. Not possible. So, or instead, you can do that. This much time I will do current affairs. This much time I will work on DAF. This much time I'll do this. Because why I'm telling you that, like, please don't keep a deadline or timeline, because interview is all about confidence. Even if you don't do 3, 4 topics and the topic comes in your interview, what you're going to say? Sorry, sir, I don't remember. As simple as that. What is going to happen with that one question? Nothing is going to happen. Okay. So let's be prepared in that way. But most importantly, I know it's a very, very silly thing to say, but I was telling you the basics are the most important in interview. So if there are some time wasters, like some friends who are coming, wasting, you are not liking it. Maybe something. Sometimes this happens. So especially when you are in Delhi, no? People will come. Let's go for coffee. Let's go for tea. But you really don't enjoy that company, or you feel that after coming back from the tea, you feel that I should not have wasted this 1 hour. If you have such feelings, please avoid it. It's okay. We are not here to make life friends in Rajendra Nagar or like Karol Bagh. We are here for some particular reason. Let's focus on that particular reason. Let's be a little selfish also. Last 15 days. Okay? So you know what's the best for you. Do anything which drains your energy, please do not do it. Whatever keeps you positive and motivated, please do it. Okay. And say, for example, some people, one of my, I'll just tell you one example. One of my senior, she's also a doctor from Tanjavur Medical College in Tamil Nadu. She's right now currently IAS 2019 batch of Tamil Nadu Kada. So she has this anxiety of sleeping like 10 days, 15 days before exam itself. She'll what I have to do, all these things. She gets very anxious. So what she used to do is that she washes her clothes before going to bed. She gets tired on washing these clothes and she gets tired and sleeps off. People do such random things also. Why I'm telling you that whatever makes you feel good, that is more important. Okay. So make sure you are in the right mind space. Always motivated. That is very, very, very important. And do not plan too much on your day. Okay, so make sure you don't plan with deadlines. This 1 hour I'm going to do DAF. Whatever you do in DAF is okay. 1 hour is okay. But fix the timelines without planning. The like if you're not planning, you're planning to fail. That is also there. So you have to plan, but in a way that it does not demotivate you. That is very, very important. Okay. So with that, let's start the session for today. And so today I'll be just 1 minute. I'll just share my screen. So Munish, this is your first class with me here.
Yes, sir.
You have not seen the previous videos or not?
Sir, they are not available to me, so I haven't seen.
Okay, I'll just talk to Adesh sir also. They'll be getting you across with that. Don't worry about it.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Videos, I think, Munesh, videos are shared yesterday night only with you. Just check on your email. If not received, just message me.
Okay,
It will be available by today afternoon. Not if not shared.
okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. So let's start. So we have three important topics for the day. Others we have covered already. So already current affairs also we have done a bit. Myths versus reality also we've done a little bit. But I'll be concluding all these final things so that you get a broader idea and perspective here. So let me start with the first myth we already had already today. So So 70 to 80% will be, people think that unexpected questions comes, but it's the reality in interviews that 80%, even sometimes 100%, it will be only expected questions. Only. Because you have to understand from the examiner's perspective, they are not here to intimidate. They are here to build a conversation with you. Only when they build the conversation, they will really understand you. Say, for example, you are talking to a third person, one random friend is coming. You start talking about your interest without knowing what is his interest or what he will do. He'll immediately, after 5 minutes, he'll leave from you. But if you engage him in his topic of interest, he'll sit with you and talk, have a good conversation. He'll open up about him. Then after some time, he'll talk about, yes, that my girlfriend is this, my boyfriend is this. They'll open up such personal areas also within 5-10 minutes. So in UPSC or interview also, they will make sure that you are 100% comfortable. The days are gone before 2015 where they intimidate you, they take stress interview, all those things. It's unheard of in the last 3-4 years now. No stress interviews nowadays, mostly. But be prepared. We do not know what can happen. But I have not heard any kind of a stress interview now. So what they do is that you enter into the hall first. What do they take some water? How are you doing? How is Delhi? How is the weather? They'll ask you such basic questions. And examiner will ask you, are you feeling comfortable? How did you travel today morning? 5-6 questions will be very, very, very comfortable questions. And then they'll say, let's start the interview. After that, only they start the interview itself. So why I'm telling you that they will make you as much comfortable as possible so that you talk what is there in your heart, not in your mind. So that much they'll make sure. Okay. So that's how they interview now. That is a technique also. Because when you get comfortable, you become very loose also. You start talking whatever you feel like talking. So that is where they catch you. Okay. So you should be thinking that almost every question will be from your expected areas. And second thing is that just because they're making you so comfortable, they will offer you coffee also. They'll offer you water, everything. You can take coffee if you want. I don't mind it. But do not think that they are your neighbors because they are offering. Be a little bit, what to say, formal with them. Behave like an officer there. That is very, very important. Okay. Fine. So that is first thing, first myth. Second myth, I've already told you. I'll re-emphasizing. This is, yes, Aditya, I would have some doubt.
So what is this behave like an officer? Like,
You like an officer means be. I first day I told you, when you have to dress up well for the occasion. It's a very, very important occasion in your life that day. Okay. So you are going for a UPSC interview. So if you clear this exam, crack this exam, your life is going to be very, very different from that point of time. So it's a very, very important day in your life. So you are dressing up. You're wearing a tie for that only. Some people wear a suit also for that. So it's up to you. I told you already what dress to wear, what dress not to wear. I already discussed it. I've discussed with this batch, right? Yes. So it is up to you, whatever is comfortable. So that means like that occasion is very important. Same way, the people who are sitting in front of you are experienced officers. You should have that respect, okay? And you should have that feeling that they definitely know more than you. That feeling should sink in continuously. Don't think that you are the expert here. Please never think that. If you have that attitude that I know more than them, that's all, you are gone. They'll make sure that they beat little you in the interview then. Okay? So make sure that you give that respect. They are elders also. Sometimes they may be wrong also. Don't try to argue too much that, sir, no, sir, you are wrong and I'm only right. You can always say that. Say, for example, you are talking to a Prime Minister of India. Let's take that. Will you go and argue with him you're wrong? You cannot do that, right? He has more experience. He has seen much more world than us. What you'll say, sorry, sir, maybe I'm wrong. I'll go and refer back. Very simply. Don't try to get into argument and all that. It's okay. Let's lose these small things. It's not nothing is gonna. You just say that maybe you are wrong. Okay. So you can come back and check again. Okay. So always be very, very polite as much as possible. And officer-like quality, what I'm trying to say is that do not raise your voice too much. Do not get angry there. Okay. Then as such, do not overthink about it. Let's leave it. Let's speak. Just be formal there. That's what I'm trying to tell. Nothing else. Just be. You put it in your brain straight that they are senior officers. They are elders also. The amount of respect they command is very high. You go with that opinion. That's all. Nothing else. Okay. Fine. Second one, I already discussed about you. This is a very, very small thing, but I felt this is a very, very powerful tool in maximizing my marks. Okay. So I've discussed how the UPSC layout is there, right? Where you go, how you enter, and then you go and go to your board and wait. So Munish, you have been to 2 interviews, right? Because let us take from the first person.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
So last time, which board did you go for?
Sir, BB Swan board.
B Swan. Did you know that BB Swan sir is you're going to give the interview to him
No,
only?
sir. No,
You didn't know
sir.
about it. Okay.
No, sir.
So before the first interview, did you know which board you are going to?
No, sir. And even after giving interview, I also don't know. Then the students who were before me, so I asked them that which
Okay.
board we give interview.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Very good. Okay, that is thing. So when the previous person is giving the interview, you are made to wait right in front of the room. How long were you waiting in the last interview in front of the room, in the interviewer's room?
It was like 5-10 minutes around.
And what were you doing that time, that 5-10 minutes?
Sir, it was winter because my interview was on 18th January.
Okay,
So the people who were sitting outside, they were offering me soup. So they were calming me down, that cool down and take this soup because it's so cold today. So just calming down, and they were saying very good board. And even at that time was also not known about the board. And they were saying good, good, you are good, you can do that. That these kind of words they were giving to me. So the
okay,
people,
okay. So what
yes.
what was going on in your mind that time?
Sir, in my mind, I was like, whatever will be, I will give my best. So
Okay,
I have,
okay.
yes, sir.
Excellent, excellent. So let me tell this is a very simple thing, but these are very powerful tools I feel. So say for example, let's say that you are having, for example, I'll tell from my life only. Okay. So say for example, day before, like last week, I was meeting with our ex-vice president Venkaya Naidu sir. So I was just having a talk. Then ex-RBI governor Subbarao sir was here, so I was talking with him. So when I interact with those people, right, when I talk, so next, immediately if I meet the first person after that, I feel very inspired by them. So the way I talk to my own friend after 5 minutes, no, I also show the same amount of inspiration and that energy because these are, say for example, in my training also. So we have our Ajit Doval, sir, NFA. So he's quite old, 72, 74 years old, I think now. Okay, but even when we are having a dinner, we are 150 probationers, but still he comes to each and every table, sits with you, shakes his hand. At that age, I'm telling and ask who are you, where are you from, and he tells about his experiences. So there are very, very, very few people who carry that aura and energy. That when you talk to them, you would have felt in your medical colleges or engineering colleges. Some faculty, so you just meet them, you shake hands with them, you feel that energy, and you have that positive vibe around you, right? You would have felt it, definitely would have felt it, and the energy gets next 5-10 minutes. That energy will be transmitted from you also. That kind of aura people have. Okay. Why I'm telling you this important fact is that, say, for example, you will be waiting first in the waiting hall. There will be a round table where 5 or 6 people who are giving for interview will be sitting. Okay. And there are people who will have that positive aura. There are people who will have negative aura also. Okay. It's very practically, I'm telling you. There are some people last time, this is my sixth interview, this is my fifth interview, or 5 attempts I have given. He will talk about his old old stories, which I don't know whether you have to listen or not. It doesn't make sense there, I feel sometimes. Okay. And second important thing is that what happens is that there'll be something. Did you there'll be one person. Yesterday I was reading in Live Mint, okay, which normally people don't read. Into Indian Express, everyone reads. In Live Mint, they talked about this article, especially about this money and dollar. It was a very, very interesting article, he will say. Then he will say, why are you talking about this to me? Suddenly you will think, what if questions come from economy, money and dollar? You will be thinking, it's human behavior, right? You will start thinking about it, which is not at all important for you. Okay. So such things might happen. Third thing,
Yes, sir.
what? See, let me finish it. So 5-6 members are there. There will be a lot of extroverts over there. People like me also will be there who will be talking. Okay. So you should be very careful. And third important thing, what happens is that first person goes for the interview. Maybe you are the fourth number, let's see. So first person has already gone. They'll come for a short period to take their bags and go. So everyone else will be very active. Which board tell us? Because you'll also be going to the same board. Say, for example, in my first interview, same thing happened. First person went and told, I got to know that was that time Vinay Mittal sir was there. He was a chairman UPS. He was from railways. So Vinay Mittal's board issue. Then one of the person said, hey, Vinay Mittal sir is from railways. Recently, the railway board got reconstituted. They may ask questions from that. I was like, what the fuck, railway board? I don't know anything about railway board also. I didn't have any idea about it. I didn't bother also, but it stuck my mind. It is not at all needed at the time, but it stuck my mind. Okay. This is one thing. Then after that, let's take that. Your turn comes. Okay. And you start walking out. They frisk you, they check you. You should not take anything, basically. Your no electronic, nothing is allowed. And then you go to the corridor and basically some room outside there is a chair. You go and sit outside the chair. Okay. Same thing as Munish said. There will be all these employees of UPSC. Basically, they'll be there. They'll be walking here and there. They'll say, "Where are you from?" "Oh, you're a doctor. From doctor, you have come to civil service. Great, great, great." They'll unnecessarily appreciate you. They'll offer you coffee, tea, soup, whatever they want. They'll talk. This is a very good board. Yeah, yeah, we all know which board is good. As of any, some board you get 200, some board you don't get 200. Every board gives 200. No, no, it's not that some board doesn't give 200. Okay, so these conversations will be there. But the thing is, what I'm trying to say is that this energy definitely matters. What you have, what you possess. Sometimes, if you discuss something what is not your cup of coffee, that gets transmitted when the time you go inside the interview also. And most importantly, here when you're sitting for 10 minutes, sometimes it becomes 15 minutes. You sit outside separately. You don't have anything else to do. What will happen? That time you will be thinking, what if they ask this question? Have I prepared for this? You try to talk, introduce yourself. You will try practicing 2 3 times then. Okay. So all these things happen. Okay. So but in the such spaces, I'm just going to give my example only. I always felt what kind of officer they are looking for me in the board inside. They want someone who is honest, who is dedicated, and he is going to serve this country. As simple as that, right? They're going to ask for this only. Nothing else. Whether you are answering this question, all these things are secondary. My knowledge on all is secondary. They're just going to simply look for all these things. Very simple things. So I always had this Gandhi's talisman, right? That one paragraph of Gandhi's talisman. I felt whenever I read, I get goosebumps about that. Something. Because you're going to serve the poorest of the poor. I always something like that will give you goosebumps every time you read it. Some piece of article. So what I do is that I have a printout of it and paper is allowed. One paper or two papers in your pocket is allowed. It's not that they'll stop that. Okay. So I always have that in my pocket. So I just keep seeing that only. Because I want to keep my mind empty and I want to be motivated. That's all, nothing else. So this 10 minutes I do that only. Some people pray. If you feel positive about that, you can still pray. Close your eyes, don't talk to anyone, you pray. So what I'm trying to say is that this 5 6 people, I've been to 6 interviews now. Among the 5 6 people whom I have given interviews with, I'm not friends with anyone in my life now, till now. Okay. Even if they are in service also, yeah, he came with me in interview. That much only. That is going to be your level of interaction with them. You are not very close friends with them. You are not sisters, brothers there. Nothing is going to happen there. Let's not waste our energy time on such relationship which is not going to last. Okay, let's be clear about it. I personally feel that. So take your energy with you. Do not try to, because sometimes positive energy also can come. Sometimes you may feel negativity also. Suppose if they discuss some article which you do not know, suddenly you will get a negativity there. Okay. So let's keep that in mind. So do not talk much, even if you are an extrovert. Make sure you have your own newspaper because newspapers are there, but you take your newspaper so that you don't. Sometimes what happens, Hindu will be in like 10 papers will be of Hindu, 20 papers will be of Times of India. You have been continuously following Hindu. Suddenly Hindu will not be there. You take it new Times of India, the pattern is changed, everything is changed. So suddenly that also will cause something trouble. So make sure you have your own newspaper there. Even if you have time, you keep reading a newspaper, you keep reading a book, or you keep reading whatever motivates you, or you keep reading your notes also. I don't have any problem. But 20 30 minutes before the interview, it's time to switch off everything. Don't do anything else. Just focus because this interview is not at all about knowledge, not at all about knowledge mainly because all the knowledge you have is enough. Okay. So you need to just put your thoughts together, listen to the question properly, and you're going to answer. That's all, sir. Whatever we are going to do. Be very clear about it. So do not waste your energy on spending time here and there, talking to random people. Don't waste your energy. Don't get into negativity. And third thing is that do not try to. I feel it's always good not to know your which board you are going to be. You'll be very neutral. I feel so. But if you want to know, if it's not effective, you can know it. But from that interview onwards, I don't even know which board. So say for example, in my last interview I went, as Munish said only, after coming out only, I saw the board. Oh, this is the guy I went to. Okay, fine, very good. So it doesn't matter. Whoever is there, they're going to take their objective only. Let us also be objective out of it. Okay. So Munish, yeah, you were telling something.
Yes, sir. I was also talking. Also want to talk about the time when they were checking the documents. So sometimes people's in your chair also like very serious, and they are reading like economics because now the issues are very much. So today this article is very good. So such kind of things happens in at that time also, sir. Sir, last year I also get panicked. One girl was reading thoroughly 2 or 3 newspaper because she was third and I was after her. So I was like, yeah, I have to read newspaper thoroughly. But at the time, I was so anxious that I couldn't read much, and I was not able to grasp. And this constantly hitting my mind that I have to, because the girl before me did so much of thorough reading through newspaper. So might be question can come from there. So sir, it gave panic sometimes. So we have to avoid that.
Yeah, yeah, excellent. So this is very simple, I know, but that's a reality, na? That's why I wanted to talk about it. This may seem very random to you, but these are the small things which affect our interviews performance. And secondly, let me give one very good example. Okay, somehow what happened in my third interview? Yes, third interview. The first question was, it's like what happened. I was the first person. What happened? What my plan was. Normally wake up in the morning, go for a small jog, come back, have breakfast, all these things. So somehow I was married very early in my life. Okay, and I celebrated my 26th birthday after marriage only. It was like that because it was my bachelor. So what happened? She was there. We were talking. I know somehow we lost the time. Even on the interview day, I couldn't catch the newspaper in the morning headlines. This really happened. I thought, okay, anyway, we'll go inside UPSC. There also we'll have time. We'll read newspaper there only. I thought, let me chill now. I was very, very like taking confidently. And I go there and I get to know on the gate itself, I'm the first person who is going to go. Okay. So suddenly I wanted to grab the newspaper because I'm sure that I told you how to find which person you are going to go. I told you in the first class itself. So I know that I'm going first now. So immediately I finished my thing and I grabbed the newspaper. Okay. I grabbed the newspaper, whichever I had. So I was reading through the headlines, all these things and all. Okay. So somehow what happened, I didn't read the headlines. Like it was about a railway accident that time. So I just got to know about 63 people died or something like that. Some major accident was there that time. Okay. So and then I went to the hall. So the first member asked me, "Did you go through the paper today?" Okay. I said, "Sir, I went through that. This was the accident. What is the major cause of the accident?" I just had a glimpse. So I told him. But suddenly it was like completely out of thing because railway accidents we read for mains only. It's not that I don't have my statistics right and all. Because normally when we prepare for mains, we have a lot of things. So what happened was then I was trying to talk about this LHB, Link Hoffman coach, right? That coach got name I forgot sir, because I not revised that time. LHB sir, there were new coaches which do not derail like this. I'm not getting the okay, no problem, leave it. So suddenly I was caught in the panic mode immediately. Okay. Why I am telling you is that half-baked knowledge sometimes becomes very dangerous in an interview. So if you read newspaper, whatever you know, only you talk about it. Even if something you say that you talk, today's newspaper had covered this, what is your opinion on that? You can always say, sir, sorry, sir, I didn't read about this. If you have not read, how does it matter? So why I'm telling you that because she was giving that example and she was reading three newspapers, I got panicked. Even if you don't read the newspaper, you can manage the interview. There's nothing that sorry, sir, I didn't read about it. Even if you know something, don't get panicked there. Say, for example, I know that, sir, the such and such accident happened. So there are few ways which can prevent the railway accidents. There is something called as, sir, I'm not able to recollect the coach name. It's some German technology coaches which also reduces accidents and derailing in a much larger extent. Be very simple, be very cool. Na? So let's not take too much tension about whether you read the newspaper or not. Even if you don't read the newspaper, it's fine. That simple is it interview. Because you can always say, sorry, sir, I forgot it. I'm not able to recollect it. Sorry, sir, I didn't do it. One or two questions saying that nothing will happen. And even if you say the same thing for 7, 8 questions, 10 questions also, it doesn't matter. Whatever your question you're performing, perform well. That is more important. Okay. So let's not get carried away by such people around us. Be very sure and have a plan for the 10 minutes of waiting. That's what I told you what I did, but you have your own plan. I don't have any problem. If you want, you can revise some things also. You can pray, whatever you want to do, but make sure you don't talk to them much. Because again, why I'm telling you is that so people, I'm not demeaning anyone here. Those people will make you feel comfortable. You say, oh, you are a doctor, you are from such college. They'll ask you. What happens immediately is that we get that small amount of ego and pride there. Yes, I am a doctor now. So what will happen? It will translate in the interview with overconfident answers there. Let's not be overconfident also here. Some people will make you underconfident. Equally dangerous thing is overconfidence also. You go with overconfidence and pride now, you will be shattered there. Okay. So that is also there because I told my first example also, right? Like my first interview, 138 I got. How did I get? I told you that one question example. So all these things are there. Okay. So be very careful. So do not talk too much. Let's stick to ourselves. Okay. And phones are not allowed. They will take you from the first result. Do not think that I'll listen to music. That will never happen because electronics will be submitted earlier. So you have your own books, novels, whatever keeps you motivated, or just close your eyes, meditate. or keep eating. You will have chai, biscuits. No, you can keep eating. Have your own snacks. Have your own newspapers. Okay, so a small advice from me. So, is there any doubts on this part, Munish? Because you are the experienced person now. Is there anything I should talk about here?
Sir, no, I don't have any doubt here.
Okay, okay. So,
Yes.
fine. So this is the second reality
Sir,
I wanted to talk. Yes.
question I have, if suppose I am the first person to go to the board, so sometime people say that at the time they are having their breakfast, so they are not paying much attention to your questions, to your answers. So, uh, sir, is it a myth or
No, definitely myth. Yeah, do not go with these things. Yeah. See what I'm trying to tell now. In that third interview, I went first. Same, I got 195 or 198 only that year also. So it doesn't
yes,
matter.
sir.
All these things doesn't matter. Okay. So when you go, people say that sometimes we have seen chairman sleeping also. He'll be so tired. At 1:30 now, what will happen? He'll put his back rest and he'll be started to sleeping like this. Other members will
Yes,
be asking. He'll be completely laid back and you don't know what is happening in this interview. The chairman is sleeping on the board. What do you have to do? He is tired, he'll let him sleep. Why you want to bother him? He will wake up at the end and he'll ask you if he wants to ask. Or maybe he's closing eyes and listening what you're talking also. It can be anything. Okay.
yes, sir.
So what I'm trying to say is that if chairman sleeps or chairman walks out during your interview, it does not mean that you are bad. Nothing like that. He has some other work. That's all. As simple as that. There are
Oh,
sometimes what happens is that these chairmen are also see you need to understand that they are experts. They have been seeing so many candidates. Yeah, they are seeing 1,000 candidates a year. Okay. Board chairmen and all. So what happens is that within 5, 6 questions they'll decide. Okay, this candidate is 70% range, this candidate is 75%. They'll decide within 5, 6 questions sometimes. Then they'll leave it to the wisdom of the members there. And they take a back step and after you go out, they will discuss how much to give or not. Okay. So let's take the positive step only. If chairman leaves, chairman sleeps, or member is snoring in front of you, it doesn't matter. It's not that you are not interesting. It is that they are tired. That's all. As simple as that. Okay. Fine. This is done. Okay. So next is that I already discussed, but still I want to read it. Is magazines like Economic and Political Weekly. Okay. India Today or any other top magazines, or you have so many institutes now giving interview materials. That is also a trend now. I think I forgot that academy also. They're giving so much interview materials also now. For mains, they were popular. What is the name of the interview? Academy? For mains, alone, they used to be very popular.
Forum IS,
Not Forum IAS, not the, they have mains classes, something like that. That one guy from IB he takes.
MK Yadav, sir.
MK Yadav. Yes, 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 yes. So this institute also gives lot of materials, like interview materials, interview classes, so many classes they take. So please, if you want to, I'm not saying that that material is good or bad because I've not seen that. Okay, but do not take tension about all these things. So I have to read this material. This material is there. See, I think as simple as you are, an interview is always helpful. But the most powerful tool you have in your hand is your phone. You Google it. Say, for example, in today's current affairs, like probably yesterday at depth, this detailed discussion was about the money depreciating against dollar. That was one of the very big news which was talked about in many of the daily papers. So if you want additional details, just Google it, right? There are so many websites, so many newspapers are there. For that, you don't need a Vision IAS or this material or IAS Delhi material. If you want, you are following something, you follow it. But don't take some new material right now. This is not the right time. Whatever you have done for mains, it's more than enough. If you want to do something extra, it's only Googling. And Google karke, you just go through it. And you will have like basically some good topics. Say for example, some good points are there, etc. You just note it down in your notebook or iPad, wherever you want. That's all. It's over. Your preparation is done from that. Only thing is that, as I told you earlier, how you are going to prepare is based on question and answer format. Guru Dayal, were you there in my previous classes?
Sir, today is my first class.
Acha, you are also in my first class. So I'm sorry, a lot
Yes,
of
sir.
new students are there. But anyway, whatever I'm talking, I'll take extra 15 minutes so that because I'm
Okay,
telling whatever
sir.
already told, I'll take care so that you will understand at the end. Okay.
Okay,
So
sir.
put questions and then try to answer to that. Okay, that is what we'll be doing. Okay. So do not take new magazines. Personal advice from my end will be that, and do not take too much tension about it. Okay. Fine. Sonam, yes, please tell me.
Yes, sir. So, do we have to make notes of every editorial which we think is important for interview perspective? We have to note that down in question and answer format. Is this the way correct way to do
Yeah.
current affairs,
Yeah.
right?
See, I would tell you, if you've already started a pattern of doing it, please follow it. The most important pattern will be not every editorial connotes, every topic connotes. That should be the best way. Say, for example, India China is a topic. Please keep adding to India China. Every time new editorial comes, do not add a new article to it or a new page to it. Okay. So,
Okay. So then, matlab, do you recommend digital notes for that? Because we have to keep adding on uh, India,
see, it's
China.
up to, see, this is not the time to discuss. If you are having comfort, see, for example, I take notes on my iPad only. So it's much easier for me. Okay. So mine is digital, it's easier. If not A4 sheets, you can add. Or if not, you are writing in a notebook. No problem. Just put a page number and add on the next page. As simple as that.
Okay, sir.
It's up to you. So just that we need to have points to it. That's all. Say for example, right? So like let me talk about the current affairs thing also right now. A little bit of this thing. Let's take this example about in. I think I've discussed India China question once already. But anyway, we'll a lot of new students there. It's fine. So I think let's Sonam, if you want to try, you can try. What do you think about the recent developments between India and China?
So just recent development includes the Ajay Doval, so who has visited to the China, and there was 6 point consensus between India and China.
Okay.
And so apart from it, if we look, if we go back into the history bit, then we are very well versed with the China's policy of like I two infiltration and incursion with the Pakistan, and also uh, at border of like Doklam, Depsang, and Siliguri corridor and Arunachal Pradesh, that standoff issue. And
Okay.
apart from it, the string of pearls theory of China in Indian Ocean, and the debt trap policy with the Sri Lanka to keep also an eye in the Indian Ocean through Hambantota port,
Yes. Okay.
and
Okay.
the
Thank you. Thank you.
dollarization. Okay,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, fine, perfect. So you have gone too much into the depth of things. I felt. Sonam, you attended my class right earlier. This is your
Sorry,
first
sir.
class. This is your first class, or like you have been there in the last class, right?
So I was not in the last class, but before that I was
Before
there in
class.
the session.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, fine. So then we have not discussed the China. I think we are not there. I think. Okay. So one more thing. Let's Aditya, can you try answering this question? What do you think about the current developments between India and China? Recent development.
Sir, in the current context, there has been a thaw in the relationship between India and China. There was the ties were very much strained after the Galwan clashes in 2020, where 20 of our brave soldiers uh, got killed in action. Recently, there was a visit of NSA Ajit Doval to China to discuss disengagement on the India-China border in the Ladakh region, to discuss on the trade matters, investment in the country, and along with security issues regarding the West Asia and current Russia-Ukraine war, and Israel-Hamas war. So overall, there was the both the countries uh, tried to lower down the trust deficit that has occurred or developed between both countries in the past few years and past events. And even currently, Chinese economy is not doing great. Their housing sector is collapsing. Their banks are not doing that great, and due to rising NPAs. So overall, both India and China, they need each other in a larger multipolar world.
Excellent. Very good answer. So Sonam also gave a different perspective, but almost similar. Lot of points are there. Very good. And Aditya also gave. Ayush, you want to try? What do you think about the recent India-China updates?
So recent ties of India-China have shown a positive improvement with our national security advisor visiting China to discuss about the trade issues, the border standoff, and a positive development has been to restore that Mansarovar Yatra and boost bilateral trade ties. But the situation seems skeptical because China is yet to recognize India's historical border claims, which China has been evading, and the trade aspect also worries China because India has imposed a variety of high barrier trade through tariffs, And so the situation is being developed, and we should be hopeful it resolves, because we are neighbors and we need to carry Asia's glory for a multipolar world.
Okay, excellent. Excellent, Ayush. Very good answer, actually.
Yes.
Very well drafted. Excellent.
Okay.
So, like, basically, I just want just 1 minute. Saurabh, Shriram, any one of you here?
Yes, sir. I am here.
Yeah. So, Saurabh, what do you think? Like, what are the important points you got from three answers? Do not compare, contrast on. What are the important points you think you have from this three versions from my question and their answers?
Sir, I think both countries has been taking actions to restore their bilateral ties to its past, like Chinese statement, which have mentioned like they have learned a lesson through these couple of years. Then both the sides want to implement the consensus reached between the highest leadership on the both side when our prime minister and their president met in Kazan in Russia during BRICS summit. And I think both countries want to mend their ties and to move forward. And lastly, sir, I would say India should be cautiously optimistic about restoring good relationship with China, as there is uncertainty in the on the global front due to Trump presidency and his threat of tariff imposition on trade.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So, so I hope all of you, other students also would have heard multiple versions of the same answer. So all of us know so many topics. All of us know multiple points are there. So some will tell exactly like Saurav said, Trump angle, or the first speaker, I think she talked about, Sonam talked about string of pearls, etc. There are someone, Aditya talked about 20 soldiers dying. Very important point, this statement he made. Or Ayush told about the optimistic, basically the conclusion, what he talked about, even though we should be cautious. So multiple people gave multiple answers, but it cannot be same. So let's take that this is the same thing you are going to get from four different papers, basically, or four different materials. Like this only you're going to get. So what you want to do, whatever you like, you take it. If you feel like the 20 soldiers dying is an important topic, please take that. If you feel that sting of pearl is important, write that down. So, but does not mean that you can cover all the points in the same answer. It is not at all possible. Not at all possible. So even if you miss 4 or 5 points, do not worry that he has read more, he has read. No, nothing like that. Only thing is that how we present with the points we have. That is more important. But again, I take you back to the basics again. Again, I know it's very big basic again. This is a syllabus they are asking. Critical powers of assimilation. You have to do a logical expression, social cohesion, and you need to show study of events, okay, happening around and within outside, and basically, like you need to show your interest, depth of interest. Yeah, it's here. Depth of interest, how much you are involved in things. That should be exposed from your question answers. That is what I gave you some tips on all. For important topics, have more notes prepared for it. Say, for example, let me, okay, I mean, see, I'm not into regular preparation, but let me try this same question, which is posed to you guys now. Sir, the recent India-China meeting, especially between our NSA Ajit Doval sir and the Chinese counterpart Wang Yi, which showed a lot of positives, especially in the last 5 years after the Wuhan summit. There has been no high-level summits, which shows that even though we are neighbors, this broke the real thaw in our relationship, especially after the Doklam crisis or the 2020, which crisis happened? I'm sorry, Galwan. So 2020 Galwan crisis. So I feel a positive note because they have come for a 6-point consensus about ironing off little differences of the borders, and they have ironed out the differences in the Manasavar Kailash Yatra also. So these are the steps in the right direction because this century is said to be Asia's century, and especially with the rise of Western powers and the Trump leadership, which we did not know how the Western countries are going to handle the Asian countries. It is going to be very, very important to have a strategic partner right next in our backyard, sir. At the same time, sir, there are some worries because we have seen from a Mahabalipuram summit, which happened, and immediately 1 year later, we had our Doklam crisis. And we had our Wuhan summit and we had the Galwan crisis. So it does not mean that just talks and agreements will not solve the problems of India-China because the real problem of India-China lies in the borders. And until and unless we clear out this 3,499 kilometers of border space, we are not going to be sure about how it's going to happen in future. This will be my answer, but I'm not saying this is a perfect answer. But what I'm trying to say is that little bit show off your areas of interest. See, you know that Ajit Doval went. You should know that, try to know that counterpart. If you use that name, it becomes very interesting. Wang Yi, no one will use that. You know the border dispute is the main dispute. Talk about it at length. The sting of pearls, debt trap, all these things are there. But those are the things which India is not really worried. I'm telling you. You will tell that I am having a diamond of necklace, all these things. But there's nothing equivalent to sting of pearls or the Belt and Road Initiative of China. The amount of investments they are doing. And there are recent studies which show that the Belt and Road Initiative of China is not really a debt trap. The IMF loans, the World Bank loans are the real debt traps. Just because China is painted by the Western media, we think that it's the same. There are multiple arguments to that also. If you ask diplomats, they'll tell you. Why I'm telling you that the real issue, if you ask anyone today, what is the real issue between India and China? It's not about the debt trap diplomacy. It's not about the foreign policy. It's about the border. That is the real issue. Let's be very strong about that. So what I'm trying to say is that even if you make 4 or 5 points, it's fine. But what points you make is very, very important. Okay. So you leave out 3, 4 points also, it's fine. Have a short answer. Do not talk too many things. I feel so. So I think Sonam, only one thing I felt, you talk too many facts in your answer. It was quite heavy and loaded. It was like a mains answer. Mains answer, you put extra 2, 3 words extra, or half mark for every word you get. But interview is just about having a conversation. Be realistic about it and have a way
Yes,
forward
sir.
to it.
Yes, sir. I also realized my answer was a bit towards negative side. Some optimism is also needed, as Ayush did, and also it was more factual.
Yeah, exactly. So why I'm telling you, it's not about factual. It's what was the question? What was the recent visit between India and China? So let's be very clear about it. We need to talk about the recent things only. Let's not talk too much in world. So let's be very, very, very clear about what question is put to us also. So why I'm telling you is that in all 5 or 6 of us who have given the same answer, there is nothing called as a right answer. There is nothing right answer, but how we convey and how we end our answer. That is very, very important. Okay. Am I clear with this, Sonam? Is there anything or learning points you took from this answer?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The first thing that initially you asked the question about the recent
Yes.
India-China dispute, the issues. So the thing should be recent, not that trip policy, and but I should more focus upon Ajit Doval and the Wang Yi. The counterpart is also important and need to be a bit optimistic, and opinion-based answer should be there
Right.
rather
Yeah,
than
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. Very good. But Sonam, don't think that since I told Vangi, Vangi is very important. No, I'm just telling it's my style. That's all. So, but
Okay,
you
sir.
can always say that borders, I think 3,499 or 88. I forgot that. Okay. So then we have a $85 billion trade deficit with China. Last 5 years, nothing happened. You just have the Mahabalipuram Summit, Wuhan Summit. I forgot the years. I think 17 and 19. Okay. But these are the most important things. Depsang plains. That what is that road basically? That important road, border road.
DVO.
DVO,
Hmm.
and this
Yeah.
20 soldiers dying in 2020. That is all. These are the important things. So if India China comes, okay, so we are going to use this maximum 10 15 facts. Let's be very heavy on facts also in these things, so that it shows that we are very confident. Okay, but that does not mean that in the name of using facts you don't deviate from the question. That is very, very important. Okay, that is one thing. And second thing is that this is what I'm trying to tell. So India, China, if you have to prepare, you are going to prepare for 1 hour. You will get all these points in 1 hour, not more than that. So any article you are going to read, make sure you read like this. Do not stop with that article. No, Google it immediately. You read about little bit more about India, China, what facts I can use, how questions can be put. So if India, China, what are the questions can be put maximum? So what about this recent thing? So about this Kailash Mansura Yatra, because that's they can ask about the Yatra also per se. When did it stop? Why is it that only that route is important? There are other routes, or 2 other routes are there. As one more important point is agreement, Nathala trade agreement. Nathala Pass now trade can be happening. Okay. So basically, is there any other border place where trade with China happens? Because Nathala is very, very important because only one place we have a trade post with China. So that's very, very important. So these are the important. So you read these 4, 5 points, 6 points you had. So just Google about Nathala Pass and India, China. Then Google about Manasavar Kailash Yatra. What are the routes? When does Manasavar Kailash Yatra happen? How many people visit? So even in this answer, I could have included if I had known the fact that almost 10 lakh devotees visit Kailash every year. Say, for example, I can use that fact also. No? Sir, I think every year 10 lakh people, devotees are put under harsh conditions because this short route is not available. So this will be a diplomatic win for India and especially for Indians who are pilgrims. So I don't know the fact. I'm just telling you an example. So we can, that fact may be important for you, for your answer. It will not be important for me. But try to get perspective out of questions. Do not read newspapers like you normally read like a newspaper. Okay. Here we need to have perspectives. Put questions. Like that is what I was trying to tell who are attending for the first time. I showed people also in the first class example. Any topic which comes, put questions to the topic and answer. Say, for example, let's take India and dollar depreciation. It has reached some 85 mark right now recently. So they can ask, what are the questions can be asked? Why do you think India's rupee is depreciating? Do you think depreciation of Indian rupee is really a worry now? What is the reason for this depreciation? Why do you think currency rate exchange should be monitored closely? Who is responsible for currency rate monitoring policies and how is it happening in India? 5, 6 questions, not more than this, right? Which is going to come. So try to answer all these things. The topic is over. That's all. Nothing more is required from this. So we are going to read for interview like this only. And India, China is over. Rupee and dollar is over. So next topic we go. That's all. That's how we are going to prepare. So am I clear now? Is there anyone has any doubt in this? Yes, Aditya.
So do they try to ask us in detail about the controversial topics?
Yes.
And
Yeah. We'll do a lot of controversial topics. Okay. Don't worry about it. From my own examples, I'll be talking about the FAQs also. Okay. So this is one thing. Done. So, okay. So other myths I've already discussed about what dress you wear, what time you go, all these things I've already covered. So leave about that. One more important myth, what I always, the reality and myth is that I already told you also, but I want to reiterate. So the transcripts which you are reading in Telegram channel or forum, somewhere you will get right all the transcripts previous time. Take it with a pinch of salt. That is not the real transcripts, I can assure you. Because what happens is that everyone who goes to interview wants to show off that theirs is the toughest interview. So what they do, some extra questions they will add. Sometimes they'll ask a very simple question, but you take it complicated and you put that in the transcript. So, Munish, like, did you write your transcript last year?
Sir, I didn't write my transcript.
Okay. So actually, what happens? Most of the sincere students do not write their transcripts also. That is what happens. So, but what did you feel? Both the years you didn't write transcripts.
Sir, sometimes it's also helps to find out like some have similar kind of profession, so questions, probable questions. So one can have the ideas that how the question can be framed,
Okay.
and secondly also the heated topics like women issues and reservation bills. So it give a sir way to uh, answer the question and also to think about the questions that
Okay.
how can the question can be framed. So sir,
Okay.
it is good also. Sometimes it's also frightened that if we will be in that position, so we will not able to do that. We will not able to answer that. So sometimes it also give goosebumps also. But sir, also helpful.
Okay. Excellent. So, but what I'm trying to say is that you may have goosebumps. Oh, such tough questions are coming in UPSC. Do not trust the questions. Say, don't ask tough questions. So they would have just made up that question in the transcript. That is what I am ultimately telling. So, but only thing is that we don't have any other way to see how questions are being put also. So, but I also advise you all, as a matter of fact, you can also share your transcript. Do not try to keep it very secretive because everything is out. But it can help future aspirants also. So, but do not go by the transcripts blindly. Such questions are also asked. What is this? They are asking such difficult questions. It all depends on the previous answer what he gave. Okay, that's why that question would have landed up also. So you do not know about all those things. Okay. So we take the transcript with a pinch of salt, but I can 100% assure you 80 to 90% of your interview is going to go on your expected lines only. It is not going to go anywhere else. That is for sure. Okay. So that is one thing. So these are the main myths you should be a little bit scared of, but otherwise it's fine. So current affairs also we started discussing already. Frequently asked questions, I thought I'll take it at the end, okay? But because Aditya told about the current affairs, little controversial topics, let's see how we can handle. Okay. So see, this is again a personal example I thought I should definitely give. It may not be very relevant to you, but it's a very, very important example. So I am basically from Tamil Nadu. So Tamil Nadu is known for its policies, usually against the union government. It's very, very sensitive in that way. So that year, I think 2020, I think they had a huge NEET protest, NEET exam ka protest. I am also a doctor right now. Okay. So this was expected question only. So they asked me, why is only Tamil Nadu government opposing such policies like NEET? Don't you think NEET kind of exams give you a better qualification and it ensures better quality of doctors? What is your opinion on NEET? So what should be my opinion? It should be my state government's opinion, or it should be my central government's opinion, or it should be my opinion.
Sir, your opinion.
Okay.
It should be
So
yours opinion as an aspirant.
okay. So exactly right. There is this concept of controversial question itself does not exist. I feel so. There is nothing called controversial. Just that if you are able to support with facts and figures, and if you are having valid arguments, and your opinion is valid. So which government should I support now? It's a very big question. Okay, so I cannot just leave my home state also. I cannot just come and support because I'm going to join in central government services. I cannot keep supporting central government also. It doesn't matter. We are not in government. You are not the spokesperson for any party. You are not the spokesperson for any government. You are an aspirant. So what they expect in such questions is that your depth of analysis. If controversial question comes, you be very, very happy because you are going to show them how much you have analyzed now and how much you have analyzed and how much effort you have taken in it to get that opinion formed. So that is very tough. Okay. So say, for example, let me talk about this question which really came to me, which was asked, but little bit modification will be there because I know what has happened after that also. So if I have to answer this question right now, let me take like that. Do you support NEET? Do you think NEET exams should be there? Sir, I feel any exam for that sake is a matter of testing a candidate's suitability. So it can be NEET or it can be board exams, it can be anything, sir. So basically, we are trying to test a person, not to stress a person. Because right now we have a lot of statistics which is in Tamil Nadu. Every year, at least 20 to 25 deaths happen because of NEET related suicides. And it's a very, very frightening situation, sir. And at the same time, there is also one more aspect which I would like to really focus on is that this NEET is creating a huge divide between the urban India and the rural India. Right now, students from the rural areas or from the poor backgrounds, they are not quite affordable to take these coachings because ultimately NEET is not testing someone's capability or efficiency. It is testing only the knowledge. And that is unfortunately true because it's only botany, zoology, etc. are mostly facts-based answers. So those people who prepare for longer, who have better opportunities to get a good test series, have a higher edge over the students who are not getting such things. So I feel this is a very, very important discrimination which is happening in India right now. And I feel the candidates say, for example, sir, in my own opinion also, where I have done physics, I have done botany, zoology, which I have never used in my career as a doctor. So I feel it's just a test, and that test needs to be not stressing the students. And I feel the older model of having only board marks to select candidates to enter into medical services was also really good because the candidate need not go through 2-3 exams at the same time. At the same time, to ensure the quality, I feel it's not about how many exams a person takes. It's about how the exam is conducted. Say, for example, we had paper leaks of NEET which is happening, which doubts the quality of the exam of NEET itself. Same way in the board exams also, we have news which say that people copy in the board exams. The faculty itself are helping students write answers. So if such things are eliminated, I think that is more important rather than having a separate exam to get any candidate for NEET. This would be my opinion. So basically, I'm completely against NEET. But as you all know, people who are there will have so much hopes that NEET is the best exam. It doesn't matter. It's my opinion. I am thinking about suicides. I'm thinking about India rural divide. But at the same time, I'm sorry, when I answer this, you should have told one more thing also. I would have added this point also. The quality of doctors is very, very, very important because it's not like any other profession. Because doctors are going to save patients. It can kill a patient also at the same time if you're wrong. So the quality is very important. We should assure the quality for sure. But NEET is not the only yardstick, I feel, sir. This would have been my answer, Aditya. So what do you think? Is it very controversial what I gave? It can be completely against the board's wishes. Board member will be completely taken by surprise. But I gave this answer and I was against NEET. And I gave that name. That time, 2020, there was one girl called Anita. It was a very, very bright student. She got state rank, but she committed suicide because she couldn't get into NEET. What system are we looking into? It becomes a very big question mark. So I gave that girl's example also actually in the board. Okay. So why I'm telling you is that See, I don't see any controversy in this. It's your opinion and you are ready to take. And if they try to argue, don't you think then UPSC exam itself is not valid? Because this is also an exam you can take by board marks. Sir, in this, you can support it also. What you can say that I'm not saying that UPSC exam is not needed because the board marks happened long back in 12th standard. We have all done graduation. Many of us have worked. So we don't, and the boards are very different. Rajasthan board is different from Tamil Nadu board. So here, definitely there is a need for an exam, okay, which needs to equalize all our grades, or an exam where everyone can be gauged in the same scale. That is why UPSC is needed only. I would say that. So people will say that you are diplomatic here. You need, you don't want, but you want this here. So ultimately, why I can support this argument also? Medical education again is a part of the concurrent list. It's not just the union government to decide. Correct. So all these things can be taken into account. So it's up to you how you argue, how you put your facts right. It's up to you only, nothing else. One more example I'll tell you. So I had this opinion. Second, and when I went for interview, this Jallikattu issue. It's a game in Tamil Nadu where people think that the cows are harassed so much, and it's totally against animal ethics, especially animal lovers. So they are there, they'll be completely against that game only. It's how it happens. So they asked me like, what do you think about this Jallikattu? Don't you think animals are harassed? Do you think this is the only way to show the valor of human being by harassing an animal? Okay, this was the exact question put to me in my interview. Okay, so but somehow I had what to say, because it's my own culture. I have been seeing that from right from my childhood, so I cannot just give it up for that sake. No? It's up to me. If I want to give it up, I can give it up also. Because, but this is something close to my heart. I just started the same answer. Sir, Jallikattu has been not just a game, sir, for us. It has been a tradition and a culture. And in my own example, right, I don't know from first standard or LKG or UKG, I really don't remember. I have been witnessing that event every year, right from my childhood. And that is a place where all of us gather, all of us go as a family to watch that. And this is some kind of a sporting event. It's like cricket for us, sir, where all of us clap hands together. We have so much supports and so much emotions around it. Sir, but as you said, definitely there is an amount of cruelty which happens to the animals. But what can be done is that, sir, there are news and articles which says that these animals are fed with alcohol before they are brought to the field. And they have put tail clips so that the animals get berserk and they get mad and bite, go and hit people. All such things of cruelty to animal, I'm definitely not supporting, sir. We should stop it and we should have a proper mechanism to make sure that such things do not happen to the animal and it should be scrutinized. But banning this entire festival just in the name of animals getting taken cruelty, I do not support that argument, sir, because sir, it becomes very hypocritic on one side. People eat non-veg on one side and say that only Jallikattu is putting animals to cruelty. I feel that way, sir. And I always support that this is a culture and which can be continued, but with some restrictions. That was my argument. So you be very clear. Don't think about using strong arguments. So a lot of people in my mock interviews say that why are you using such words like hypocritic? Don't think that you are eating non-veg does not mean that is not equivalent to having a bull race here. It's my argument. It's my opinion. If you have good opinions, they will definitely appreciate it. So do not think these are controversial topics. The problem is that our academies train us in such a way that do not talk anything controversial, just be mild. If you don't take any strong stance, how we are going to be assessed then? You will be any Tom, Dick, and Harry, right? You are one among the 1,000 people who are giving interview. You will also have same state jacketed answer which you have prepared from some magazine. Let us have our own opinions, but do not have extreme opinions. If they try to oppose you 2-3 times, sir, I'm sorry, sir, this was my opinion, but I have not looked from this kind of a lens and optics, sir. Maybe I should go and review it, sir. I'm really sorry about it. You can take back your opinion also. What is there? Accept it. If they give some other argument and that makes more sense to you at that point of time, you can get back also. What is it? Please accept that you are wrong. Sorry, sir, I have seen only from this angle. I have not thought from that perspective. Maybe I was ignorant about that perspective. Please accept it. No problem. They are our seniors. They are guiding us. Okay? Yes. Harish, you had some doubt. Shriram. Sorry, Shriram. Yes. Shriram, go ahead.
Sir, do they counter your opinion in opinion-based question or do they grill us?
Sometimes they do counter. Say for example, I got counted once in my opinion. Which opinion? Doctors ethics. Okay, one of my interviews, there was a question that all doctors. He started that question itself like that only. Nowadays, all doctors are frauds because whoever I feel whoever is working in the private sector, they are more focused on money only. Okay, and most of the doctors are taking cuts, and the increase in the rate of cesarean sections is also because of the money the doctors want to make. What is your opinion? He asked. I gave an opinion that cesarean section increase is not because of money alone. Okay, it's because of the lifestyle we have. Okay, it's because of expertise we don't have also. Because earlier, all the residents used to do 1,000 normal deliveries, 2,000 normal deliveries. Because normal delivery is more difficult than cesarean section, sir. And nowadays, most of the residents hardly do 100 normal deliveries or 150 normal deliveries, and which shows that they don't have that expertise. And especially when some complication happens in normal delivery, the use of vacuum, the use of the forceps delivery, it's very, very challenging, which not everyone can do, sir. And at the same time, in this current world, earlier the IMR rate was more than 150, 150, 170. But right now, IMR is only 30, less than 30, which says that we are not ready to take even a slight risk. And that is why people go for cesarean section, because they don't want any mishap to happen. So it's more of a safety basis and more of an expertise basis rather than just only talking in terms of money. This is what my argument was. He again countered me, but I don't trust on all these things. There are also good doctors there. Even good doctors are only going for cesarean section. And all these corporate setups, they have package. When you go itself, cesarean section means this much money is there, that much money is there. He told me this again. Sir, I completely understand from your perspective, sir. But as per my understanding, sir, I feel these are the reasons. Money may be a factor, sir, but I don't think so. The doctors whom I met have not been practicing like that, sir. I told him on his face.
Yes.
It's okay. Doesn't matter. It's your opinion, right? Maybe he is wrong. But if he's still insisting about cesarean section like this, na, so now the matter of expertise comes. Okay. So medicine is my field. Right.
Yes.
But if he has argued so much on international affairs, probably I'd have taken a back step. Sorry, sir, my expertise in this field is very limited. Maybe I'll try to read about it more, sir, and I'll definitely try to consider your opinion also, sir.
Yes.
I will say that and get back. But just because I am a doctor, I have practiced medicine, I told him, sir, those people whom I was very polite only. See, I'm not saying that I'm negating him. I was very polite saying that the people whom I have met, the doctors whom I have practiced with, are like this. But I'm not sure about what is happening elsewhere in India.
Yes, sir.
Correct? Very subtle way. It's not that the only problem now people think that you cannot argue with them, you cannot go back. Nothing like that. Yeah, this is a very good conversation. But only thing is that I should not say, no, sir, sorry, sir, it's not like that. I should not stop with that. I should give arguments supporting that. What is more important is the arguments you are going to support with or the facts you are going to support. That should be without arguments and facts. You just tell that no, sir, you are wrong. You cannot tell like that. You cannot tell like that. Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes. So one more thing, what I want to, because I think I have put the right things across to you. Just I want to summarize this. So Sonam, just give me a minute. I'll just summarize and come. Okay. So firstly, having 2-3 questions on the same topic is not a bad thing at all. But if you think they are heavily insistent on it, and if you think that you are not the expert in that field, please do not argue further. Sorry, sir, my expertise in this area is very, very limited, and it has come from the few sources which I have referred only. I am sorry, sir, I may be wrong. Let me go back and refer. Please come out of the struggle there itself. Do not try to prove that you are the only person who is right. You are not going to win the battle by such things. Okay? Please be very careful about that. Secondly, when it comes to your area of expertise, medicine, or if you are an engineer, your area of expertise, you are arguing. Do not argue too much of a rational and fact-based answer. The best argument when you are negating something will be your personal experience. Personal experience are varied. They cannot argue on that. Okay? So in your field of experience, if they are asking multiple questions, they are trying to corner you, just say that, sir, this is what I have experienced, sir. That is the best answer and they'll really appreciate you. Third thing, sir, I want to really take a stance which is highly controversial. It's against the government. Okay? Say, for example, NEET is one example I have given you. maybe for a person in the northern part of India, they may have so much of controversy in farm laws because the government is trying to push farm laws, but so many people are opposing it. We do not know really whether farm laws. See, because when we read in editorials, the people who are writing editorials are the problem. Are they are not farmers. They are economists. They are all these political experts. All these things. They write from a place of higher pedestal. They are not the real farmers on the ground. So as such, when you see the farm laws and the farm reforms are always supported, when in theory the problems we read only that. But what ultimately a real farmer on the field wants? They just want everyday's wages properly. They want their produce to be sold. They want what is easier to them. Suddenly on one day you cannot tell that don't cut the stubble and all. You cannot burn. You have to cut it and we'll process it. We have processing centers. Do you think they have processing centers in every village? It's very easy to say. But why will I cut and take and for a thing for 50 kilometers? I'll go somewhere and take money from that. The easiest thing is burn it and go. I am not worried about Delhi's pollution. It doesn't affect me. That is the real mentality, right, on the field. So you can also oppose the farmer saying that, sir, farmers, whatever you tell, they are going to burn only. They will ask you why you are so negative. No, sir, the solution lies in you bringing that stubble processing unit in every village. If you can bring that, they are going to change immediately. But you cannot expect them to go to the next village to get it processed. Or at least government should make sure the subsidy is linked to these things. Only if you do this thing and you get a receipt, then only your MSP will be assured to you. Some incentive should be given. Otherwise, they will still keep burning only. So you can have such arguments on the face. You can have. Don't worry about it. They've also seen that and come. Don't think that they'll get so angry that you are not supporting the government. You're talking negative. This is not negative. You are being practical. Just because we oppose a government steps, it's not means negativity. So this is a third point I want to tell. If you oppose something, don't think that you are negative. Think that you are more practical also. That can also be, but doesn't mean that every time you oppose, you don't praise yourself that you are practical. No, no. Okay, there are some things which you should not argue also. Say, for example, let's take an infrastructure project versus an environmental project. Say, every state will have some issues. Say, for example, in Tamil Nadu, we have Kudankulam issue. Right now, the nuclear reactors, they are not allowing. So, in this kind of a thing, as a bureaucrat, as a person who's looking for the development of India, we need to slightly lean towards the development aspect only. Okay, that can be a right stance. Do not talk like an extremist, especially like a left-wing person, no? Where you go on the street and protest for everything. No? Do not behave like that. They don't want such activists in the services. Okay, let's not become too much activist also. Okay, this is what I want to tell. Yes, someone had a doubt. Poonam, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So, so it was a counter question
yes,
to your opinion in medical ethics wala question.
yes.
So it was about ki, what about the unnecessary LSCS or the hysterectomy that is being done in like Bihar and UP for in private hospitals? What is your opinion and the medical ethics about it?
Yeah, see, that's what I didn't argue that cesarean section are only because of these things. I said that these are the other reasons also. Definitely, do not say that there is no unethical practice. I accepted that immediately. Definitely, there are few doctors who are practicing unethically, and that is a thing should be condemned. And definitely, because of such practices, the entire fraternity is getting tarnished. But at the same time, that is not the only reason, sir. There are other reasons also for increasing in LSCS. That was my entire argument, Sonam.
Okay, so then that means we have to take a middle path.
Yeah,
In that case, we are supporting them that they are not also wrong. They have some their stand, and but we also have our opinion that LSS is not only that
yeah. Exactly,
men
exactly.
like them.
See, firstly, do you think no doctor does anything on money? Don't you think organ trafficking does not happen in India by doctors? Don't you think doctors give fake certificates for this thing? Don't you think so?
So it happens.
Yeah, please accept those things. No? Please be practical about it. Let's talk. Just because of a doctor, we do not support our fraternity, nothing like that. It is unfortunate that few doctors practice like that, sir. It should be highly condemned. But at the same time, sir, these are also other reasons. You start with that only. I started my answer like that only.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yes, Aditya.
Sir, in this, question, this cesarean section, we can give perspective from both sides, the doctor's side and from the patient side as well. And we can use our medical knowledge like 18 hours to 20 hours for a primary patient to have a delivered, the painful process they are not willing to go, the lifestyle they are following. So from patient side, there is a demand to just get
Yeah.
the process done as soon as possible. Then we can also
Exactly,
quote
exactly.
other
Perfect, perfect.
medical terminologies where only cesarean section can be done. No, other things are not even possible. So that in that sense, it works as a lifesaver for the patient. So we can give both perspective. Can we do this way?
Yeah, definitely. Very much allowed here. Not just that, even people want to deliver on that particular date, but particular time also nowadays. People are selecting that also, na?
Yes, yes,
Nowadays.
yes, sir.
You can tell it's just even patient's demand also. Okay.
And we cannot go against patient wishes.
You
At the
can
end,
tell
it
that.
is just informed consent that
Yeah.
patient gives.
Exactly, exactly. So, perfect. It's very, very good argument that way also. You can have such arguments also. But don't be like swapping arguments, right? I don't know whether I got it conveyed wrong, but initially also when I answered that also I told that yes, sometimes it happens because of the reason for economic benefits of the doctor. They do that. Please agree to that. Do not say that it is not happening in India. That becomes too much of idealism, which it is not possible. Every dog, there are so many quacks are there. Even MBBS graduates who are not even MS gynecologists, they are doing cesarean sections. That things happen only. Even every time now and then, we only when some mishap happens, it comes in newspaper. Otherwise, it's happening on a daily basis. Lot of wrongful practices, especially misuse of antibiotics, like extremely bad among doctors. Correct. We do a lot of this. Even we ourselves would have done it. Okay, just misuse of antibiotics. These are like huge crimes which you do not realize the impact right now. Okay, so please do not too much support also. You can always say that it is unfortunate, highly unfortunate. Such things are happening. You please use it on the face only directly. Please accept that we are wrong. No problem.
So there are bone setters on every nook and corner.
Yeah, exactly. Bone setters on every nook and corner. You can use that. See, when you are using such examples, now you can have a smile also. It becomes funny also in the interview. You said, na, sir, but recently, sir, I also had an example in my internship. There was one patient who wanted to deliver that child on that particular day and particular time only. So we had no other option to opt for cesarean. I don't know, sir, what else we could have done there also. Sometimes doctors are also helpless. You can tell that also in a funny way. You can tell. Okay. Okay. Harish, please go ahead, Harish.
Sir, I have one question.
Yes.
If when we talk about formulas, there is not much burning or protest in the southern states when compared to the northern states. How to answer this question? Because still we have rice growing belt in Chhattisgarh, coastal Andhra, coastal Tamil Nadu, even in Kerala too. So how should I answer such? I mean, if such question is asked.
Yeah. Very good question. Okay, excellent question. So such questions, what happens is that firstly, so exactly this formulas was highly opposed only in the three northern states only. Not even in Tamil Nadu, we do not have much protest actually. People were welcoming formulas actually in Tamil Nadu. Okay, it had because a lot of beneficial things. But the only difference is that see, it's not just only opposition for the formulas. The problem is the farmers' cooperations. Okay, farmers' parties on a political line. These are all much stronger only in these three states. We don't have an agrarian party till now in Tamil Nadu. We don't have a party which only represents farmers' interests. We do not have it. So that also different. So basically, you can in such answers you can tell that, sir. Firstly, it all depends because here the economy is the percentage of farmers in these three states are very much higher, and the political exposure among these farmers are much higher. At the same time, sir, there were various other states also. There were protests, but not to this extent which we could see of. So there were few supporters also for this. There was few protesters, but since it was very close to Delhi, and these farmers are more politically organized, it was more pronounced in these three states, sir. It's basically a political this thing only. There is nothing called as formulas are different here and there. Nothing like that. And one more thing also, actually, I think I read an article long back. There was, maybe I'll try to. You can also try to find it, which says that see, agriculture again is a state subject. Okay. Okay. So in states like Tamil Nadu, we have over and above MSP, we give lot of other benefits also. So farmers basically now when farm laws changes, it doesn't matter for them because they are more dependent on the state laws rather than the union's law. Okay, in Tamil Nadu and Kerala. But on the other hand, in the farmers of Punjab, Haryana, they were more dependent on the union's law rather than the state laws. That was also a difference actually. But I'm not very sure of the argument, but try to find such arguments. Okay, so say for example, why such protests are happening, all these things, such questions come now. To be very frank, one of your point is always that sometimes these protests are also politically motivated. Let's be practical about it. Don't you think political aspect is there in this protest? If any,
Yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir.
even Supreme Court appointed one task force. It has also found that because of few pressurers, especially the trade associations. So because of that, we have to cancel the formulas. And it is more of a persuasion issue in implementing the law rather than that the law is fault. They have said.
exactly. So perfect answer you have. What more you want to have? If anyone is from Telangana, just 1 minute. Yes, if anyone is from Telangana, you will also know that this recent arrest of Allu Arjun, this fiasco, what is going on, is utterly useless. It's more of a political game rather than that. So you can, if they won't ask you, but I'm telling, but if anyone is from Telangana or Andhra, or anyone has interest in put your hobby as watching movies, if such question, Allu Arjun question comes to you, please tell that, sir, it was definitely wrong from this part for not informing the police. Let's be clear about that also, because one life is lost there. Do not make joke of that life, because I saw this High Court bail argument. It was very funny that the judge was laughing about that person's death and all. They want to come and see the thing. It's highly, I don't know, sometimes the ethics all go to a toss. When the judge of a High Court is smiling at such things, it becomes very saddened. But let's not laugh about that. So let's say that it's very, very unfortunate such one life was lost for an unnecessary reason, which was not supposed to happen that day. But at the same time, sir, I think the state machinery was also at fault, because even if they had not informed, the state should have its own intelligence that Allu Arjun is coming there. What is the intelligence machinery doing? And they should have been more proactive. At the same time, it is fault on Allu Arjun's fault to the side also, which says that he should have informed. They rejected his rally, but still he was taken into the rally. You have to accept all these faults. It's not that you need to support one side. But at the same time, sir, I feel this issue is blown out of proportion because there is a political motive behind it. Very simple. Don't tell that which party is supporting whom or not. That is not needed. Just say that there is some political angle also behind it. Yes. Okay. So any other doubt? Someone had asked? Just someone raised hands. Okay. Yeah. Aditya.
So, sir, recently this temple issue is going on regarding Sambal. So, do we have to know about the ASI Act of 1958 and Places of Worship Act 1991 on what is the controversy regarding that part?
I'm really, Aditya, I'm sorry. I didn't follow the news. I'm sorry. What is this controversy?
So, recently there was an order by the lower district court to carry out ASI survey in the Hari Mandir in Sambal district, which led to protest and riots, killing of 5 people. And so, and there were questions, and then Supreme Court put a stay order that no, until unless it gives its verdict on the Places of Worship Act 1991, no other court will grant any other this survey order.
So you did not read the entire acts again. What is important? How questions can be framed? No? What do you think about the lower court's order? What do you think should be the Supreme Court's future plan? Or do you think it is right to have such an act, Places of Worship Act? Such questions can be asked. So you prepare on those lines only. Do not read the provisions and all. But again, this Places of Worship Act, because I don't know about this case, but I know about this Gyan Wapsi or all the other mass and all. No? So this Place of Worship Act, it is very, very, very important. I'm just telling my opinion about it. You can have your opinion. Very important in a country. You cannot compare India of 10th century with the India of 21st century. We have other aspirations. We have different aspirations. So that time we did not have Place of Worship Act. So so many temples were dazed. Unfortunately, that is the reality of India. Okay, so many temples were dazed. Other religious activities were performed. But at the same time, there are also examples where Hindu rulers have broken mosques also. That is also there. It's not that it is not there. So it was the dynamics of the time where, because if any ruler from a different religion conquers the other part, this was supposed to be done. And that was the rule of the law that time, or of the land that time. And it was appreciated at that time. But right now we are in an era of 21st century. We talk about secularism. We talk about India's way of secularism also, where we have principled distance approach, etc., etc. And I don't see this Places of Worship Act is no exception to it, because you have that, because we have a principal distance approach in a secularism. And if we take off this act, that's all. What will happen? It leads to chaos, law and order situation now and then. It's okay. There will be some protests, some people who are opposing that act, but at the same time, we have to take it at the iron fist, so that protection of minority rights is one of our fundamental rights. So we can take that step also. But if you have an opinion against it, all mosques, all these things have to be revisited. Everything has to be surveyed, and everything has to go back to its original. If it is your opinion, that is also okay. But that will not be expected from a civil servant, I feel. Okay.
So people can quote Article 25, 26, like majority also have rights, and the basis of a SIP Act is discriminating majority, the rights of majority to reclaim their temples, their kul devtas, and
Yeah.
just it has put a discriminatory like a time limit at 1947, and there is no basis for that time limit. And then one exception is given to Ram Mandir temple, and
Hmm.
no such explanation is given for that. And last part, I would say that like right now the on farm laws there was a, debate that all the stakeholders should be taken into consensus, but when this law was enacted the stakeholders were not taken into consensus.
Hmm.
And so in one hand we are promoting minority rights, and in the other hand we are just directly taking away the rights of majority to even go to court, use legal mitigations, legal under the four corners of constitution to address their cause.
Yeah. So that's what I told you. Aditya, you are very right, and that it's your opinion. But the only problem is why that 1947? I don't think so. Arbitrarily they put 1947. It's because of the independence. That's why 1947 is fixed. Because let's leave the past baggage. Whatever has happened in the past, let it be in the past. Let's think about new India now. That is why this 1947 was put up into place. And if you start questioning each and everything, there will be the entire bureaucratic machinery. Okay, right from your police to right from your district magistrates will be involved only in this, which is not the priority. We have other priorities like health, poverty, etc. to be done. So this is my opinion. See, ultimately, I'm telling my opinion only. That is why 1947 and why Babri Masjid alone, this one alone was given an exception because it became a national news and they couldn't control. It was a state's failure to control that. So once they failed it, let's thought that let us not fail one more time. That is why they brought this entire act itself. Let us not fail one more time. Why do you think such a law has come? We also know that it's not injustice, historical injustice has to be undone. We also know that. But the problem is why the government of the day brought that act immediately on that point of time. They don't want something again to happen. So there was a reasoning about it, but it's up to you, Aditya. If you have a good argument, you can always argue. Here, I don't have any problem. This is my opinion. So that's what your opinion, my opinion will be much different. It's up to you. But as a bureaucrat, I personally feel start questioning each and every questions of the past will need you nowhere. Like our COP summits. If you start questioning about the past, you polluted this much. Now you don't pollute. Such things, there is no answer for such thing.
Sir,
Every
actually, why this question was there in my mind because when I was, if they ask similar question to me, then how I'm going to respond? So,
uh
right now you said that we should not delve into past for everything. So then again, the counter question could be like, we have given reservation based on this only, repetitive justice. So there we are dwelling into the past, but here we are selectively avoiding the past.
yeah,
So
it's
how
all
can I
yeah,
answer this
it's all a
question?
political question only. It's all a political question basically. It's all a political question. But this much they will not ask you. But I'm just giving my opinion on this also. It's a political game only. So to be very frank, most of the leaders want to take off the reservation. It's what is everyone's wish actually. But just because of the political repercussions, people are so scared to do that. They want really lot of experts. Even the Supreme Court fixed in Indra Swani case itself. They tried to take off. You're trying to do too much in reservation. Let's fix it 50%. Let's take that. See, there is even among the suppressed communities, there is a lot of resentment that those people who are getting reservations in 1940s, still they are only getting the reservations. Their own children are getting. We should have creamy layer in SC and ST also. There are a lot of demands for that also. So, but the problem is a political question. You take reservations, and people do not know for what they are going mad or what they are burning things. The country will go into a toss, and no political party will be ready to take that much of a risk. That is the only reason. See, the very point of introducing creamy layer and OBC was taken into much easier because we don't have such specific political parties on ABC line, like OBC lines or NBC lines, etc. It was very quite okay to implement that, and that was a court order also at that time. The same creamy layer you cannot implement in SC or ST because it becomes a political question rather than a real efficiency question. But most of the even our own batchmates, though they also most of them feel that reservation should be a little bit handled in a better way because those people who are continuously getting benefits, they are only enjoying the benefits again and again. That is a question there, but you can obviously tell about these things also. here it's definitely we should not go by the historical aspects, but the problem is the practically implementing that will lead to more fire in the ground. Same way, if you remove that place of worship act right now, that will lead more fire on the ground rather than holding it. That is the problem. If you remove that act, I feel there will be a lot of protests. There will be a lot of problems, a lot of issues will happen.
So, sir, they might question me that this is a failure of a state that it cannot protect its citizens, and it can be held ransom by anyone with 40 to 50 people who can do riots and just challenge the orders of the court. So, how can I answer this question?
Yeah, see, it's not that they are holding ransom. They are opening their strong pressure groups. They are doing it. There is nothing to go into such details. So they won't ask such questions, Aditya. They won't try to corner you this much and all. Don't worry about it. 100%. It's your opinion. Why I'm trying to tell is that they'll ask you one or two questions. They will get to know about your opinion that you are little bit towards historically leaned. That opinion they will form, but that you have something which has done in the past, some injustice done in the past has to be corrected now. You are having that opinion. And second thing is that one more thing they will also do think is that you will be slightly or more lean towards Hinduism. That also they'll can gauge from that. But there's nothing wrong in that. It's up to you, right? So they say, for example, I forgot that UPSC board. Who is the chairman now? UPSC chairman? I'm sorry. Manoj Soni, right?
Priti Sudan, ma'am, sir.
Manoj Soni sir is not there right now.
No, sir, he resigned.
Acha. So I still remember my 2018 ka interview. So Manoj Soni sir used to dress up only in saffron clothes. And he used to put a big tika. I'm not joking. See, what I'm trying to say is that we are in a very, very secular country. So again, this is also a problem. A lot of people will say that please do not talk as if you are supporting Hindus more because you are a Hindu. Nothing like that. It is your opinion. We are living in a secular country and religion is something which is very, very, very personal to us. It's your opinion, your rights. So that is why, Aditya, I'm not telling that you should not tell like that. I never told you. But you should have good arguments for it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. If you have good arguments, you can talk whatever you feel like. Okay? Yes. Any other doubts you have? Okay. So this is about the controversial questions. And let's go into more of one or two more of current affairs also. I thought I've given you a few good examples already. Just a minute. Okay. So what other important major current affairs which is happening right now? So let's take the Syrian crisis, which is also going on really well. See, what do you think? What are the impact about for India about the Syrian crisis? What do you think is the impact on India, and what should India's role at present in Syria? If such a question is put to you, let's ask who has not answered today's session. Gurudayal, can you try to answer this question? Mayur, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mayur, I'll just put the question again. What do you think is the impact of present Syrian crisis on India, and what should India do? If I put such a question.
Sir, the foremost consequence on India is as Syria lies in extended neighborhood of India, any instability in that region would have direct or indirect repercussions. And sir, the West Asian area is very important for energy security for India. So the sea lines of communication will also get hampered. And sir, also the
Yes, please go ahead. Sorry.
and also any instability in the West Asian region is going to affect the Afghanistan and in return to India because the extended neighborhood is going to have instability if the region in any sort of instability in that region is going to threaten the peace in other areas and also the Indian population diaspora in that region will put pressure on Indian diplomatic efforts. So in that way, sir, it will have many negative repercussions on Indian diplomatic efforts.
Okay, thank you, Mayur. Very, very nicely answered. He has covered most of the points, but all good. So, but I felt you were a little repetitive, right? Like you talked about the same points again. That could be avoided, Mayur.
Yes, sir.
And second, the same thing I was telling initial part. We need to understand the process of the question. So I asked, what is the impact for India and what should be India's role? You never talked about the India's role.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So can you tell me what should be India's role?
Sir, India should try to more make this issue bring this issue on discussion in international forums like UN, and also India should try to have the diplomatic efforts dialogue with the major stakeholders in that region, so that the peace process should get initiated, and doesn't matter which government is coming in that area. India should have dialogues with the party which is ruling in that area.
Okay, excellent, excellent, Mayur. Very good perspective you have, and really good answer. First answer was also very good. You covered all the points actually. Just that it could have been little. You would not have repeated the points. That's it. Otherwise, it's very good. Good, very good. Anyone else wants to try this question? Yes,
Sir,
Ayush.
yes, sir. Sir, with recent happenings of Syria, with the ousting of Bashar al-Assad, the president of the country, India needs to watch the situation more closely with regards to the new government that forms. It needs to engage with that government because indirectly or directly, the situation in Syria affects our internal security, especially Kashmir. So that's what the diplomatic dialogues need to continue, and India needs to maneuver its West Asia policy because of the ongoing crisis which are getting added along with the Israel-Palestine issue.
Excellent, Ayush. Very perfect. Perfectly quoted. Shows you
Okay.
had prepared well. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Zeroto, I forgot your name. What is your real name? I keep forgetting it. Sorry.
Sir, my name is Naveen.
Naveen. Sorry, Naveen. Yeah, please, Naveen. Go ahead.
Ji, sir. Sir, first of all, I will answer the impact on India part. So, sir, I think the situation in Syria in the recent times has put India in a dilemma situation. On one part, we have taken a stand that this is not a age of war. Our Prime Minister and External Affairs Minister have repeatedly said this. But on the other side, we also have to accept the reality that the political dynamics have changed in the region. So, one impact will be on the Kashmir issue. As we have seen, the Assad regime has supported India's decisions in Kashmir regarding the scrapping of Article 370.
Excellent.
Secondly, since it is a radical group which has taken over in Syria, we have to prepare ourselves that similar situation does not happen in India or in our neighborhood. We have to prepare ourselves for that also. And sir, I think on a larger geopolitical perspective, since the Ukraine war, India has been facing the questions from the West regarding Russia supporting Russia versus the West. The similar dynamic can come in this scenario as well. So we have to tackle this question with caution as well. So, sir, I think these are the broader challenges which India have to keep in mind while dealing with the situation in Syria. And regarding India's stance, India has always been in the favor of territorial sovereignty. So we should support whoever comes to power in Syria and try to establish relations with the regime in Syria.
Excellent. Excellent. Suresh, right?
Naveen, sir.
Naveen. I keep forgetting your name, Naveen.
Yes,
Sorry,
sir.
really. Fine. Very good answer. I mean, you are very brief about that and excellent. But I mean, only one thing is that I felt it very quite long. This much of
Okay, sir.
attention span you cannot expect from an examiner over that side. Should be a little bit
Ji,
shorter
sir.
so that it becomes much. But all your points are really valid. So you can be little faster or you can be little shorter. Anything. Okay. So
Okay,
that it
sir.
becomes very excellent answer, but very well prepared answer. Good. Yes,
Ji, sir.
Harish.
Yes, sir. Even, I mean, a recent regime change in Syria, the India has first responded in the humanitarian crisis, and it has evacuated the Indian origin people and diplomats from the Syria. And the second thing, now the things are a little bit changing, and more realism is coming into the play in the international arena. That is, many of the governments like Jordan, Saudi Arabia have recognized the new regime, and new regime has openly told that it won't resort to the violence, and it will slowly try to establish democratic regime. If it happens to on the, I mean, not only in words, even on the action, so that would be a welcome thing for India, because India has more stakes in Middle East. That's maybe in IMEC or the investments in Haifa port and other ports in Greece. And if the situation improves, the automatically the Suez Canal trade will also be boosted, and it may have some, what do you say, good thing in the recent past, because Israel is also facing the three front war with the Syria and in the Gaza, and even with the Iran too. So if situation slowly comes down, and even the US and USA government has also recognized the new regime, and the USA is trying to go for the ceasefire agreement with the Israel and Gaza. So that maybe if it happens in a positive way, so definitely India would be at gain.
Okay. Excellent, Harish. So yeah, you also brought in a lot of perspectives into it, new perspectives. Very good that all of you are preparing well. So only thing again, don't put information loaded. Have a short answer. That will be again my suggestion. But it will come over time only. But first thing is that you start preparing. But good, very, very good. I really appreciate all your answers. Excellent that I can see that change now in the way you guys answer. It's like I really feel happy about it. So, but for me, if you ask me, like, it's a short question for me. What is the impact on India and what should India do? I would have answered the same question in 40, 45 seconds max, not more than a minute. That's what I would try to do. Because when you talk longer, right, the problem is the examiner, he has been listening for so many days, so many things. Na? So it becomes a little longer. But important points you can focus and make it little shorter. Say, for example, if you had asked me, what is the impact on India? So the main impact on India in the short term was on the diaspora, Indian diaspora, and India did a very good job of evacuating almost 60, 70 people on the same very next day itself after this event happened. At the same time, sir, Syria has been a very good partner when it comes to the issue of Kashmir. Syria has always supported our Kashmir policy, and India also has supported Syria's Golan Heights policies, which shows a very mutual respect for each other. And at the same time, sir, the one more thing which has a huge impact is our trade relations. There is almost we have a huge line of credit right from our ONGC company, almost a $250 billion trade. We have given advances to them. That line of credit has to be taken care because it's a huge money and it's a private sector company, which has to be dealt in the future. But when it comes to what India can do, I think India always has been a country which supports non-intervention policy in anyone's foreign affairs. And I think India should take up the same issue because now a lot of reports are saying that the HTS people who have come into power are because of the support of Turkey and Israel. But if that is the case, India should make sure that this comes into the international forum and make sure that there is no intervention for the new government also, because it does not depend which government is in place. What India always will support is that a beautiful democracy there and peace of Syria, because it is in our own interest and it's in the interest of the world that no more new ISIS or no more new Al Qaeda keeps born on the soil of Syria. This would have been my answer. Okay. So it all depends. See, my perspective will be different. What I prioritize is different. What you prioritize is different. But it's okay. But just that the most important components has to be covered. So all of you covered about the diaspora, because India for Syria now, most important. If you talk about India, Syria, what are the most important things? If any foreign diplomat will know is about your diaspora there. Second important thing, our Kashmir issue, because West may everyone was skeptical about our Kashmir policy. Only country which supported was Syria. Okay, in Syria and India had always a good relationship. That is, everyone knows about it. So that has to be the important. If you can cover these two topics mainly, And third topic is that what India should do. Always India should play a global leader. So whatever policies we preach for, we have to try to put the same thing there. So that's fine. That's all over. So these are the main points. Other things plus minus you can talk whatever you want. But make sure that crispness of the answer should not be lost. That is very, very important. Yes. Yes, Aditya. You got something?
So this Muhammad Al Jolani that who came, he was an offshoot of Al Qaeda. So we
Yeah, yeah.
can raise here the issues of good terrorists and bad terrorists and the Western hypocrisy on this issue.
Yeah. You can see
And the
Aljo.
continued interference in the other countries' policies. Like,
Yeah.
and we can we quote this example of Bangladesh that this is a continued uh, continuation of Arab Spring that has started in 2010.
Exactly, you can talk about all these things. Perfect. But make sure your answers are a little short because here it's specifically about India, impact and Indian role. If you want, you can talk about that part also, but you should relate to India there. If you can relate. Say, for example, Al Jawani, as you say, he was an offshoot from Al Qaeda only. But the only thing difference is that he was more towards Syrian nationalism, not about international terrorism. Okay? So that is very, very important. You need to understand that he didn't go for any other country's war, as you see from his past history. And second thing, most importantly, as you told, it is very, very, very particularly sure that only when Israel war is happening, Ukraine war is happening, when these two countries are busy, only the Azad's government can be overthrown, which shows that the most important thing which has happened in the entire politics, geopolitics, is foreign countries' influence in Syria has been the main thing for this overthrow. That is very, very easy to predict also. Everyone knows that also. That also you can tell about that with the example you can tell. Okay. So fine. That is up to you, Aditya. It's up to you if you can support it. Okay. So I think for those people who have joined first time alone, I'll take a little bit because I think current affairs I've told you how to read, how to put questions. I've told everything already. I don't want to repeat the same to you guys. I do not want to waste your time, also precious time at this point of time. And myths also we have seen. FAQs, I think I've discussed about importantly 2-3 questions. Why you want to join civil services? I've given you ideas also how to develop about that. And what introduce about yourself. And other FAQs also. What do you think about the economy of Tamil Nadu? Was asked once. You are from the state. Say, for example, state ka. State ka, there will be some important FAQs always. Tell us about how your state is doing well. Is it doing good or not? Is it economically they are taking the right decisions? What do you think about the budget of your state this time? Or because you are people who are going in February, they'll be asked about the budget of India also. They can be because you are from a medicine fraternity. You can be asked about the health budget of India. You'll be asked questions on that. These are the FAQs. For these things, you should have a perfect answer already prepared. Like as I said, no? Introduce yourself, all these things. But these questions we'll take care of during our one-to-one session. I don't want to, because it'll be very, very different. But only thing in all these questions, have an optimistic opinion. A little bit like positive view. Please criticize, but at the same time, show a ray of hope at the end of the answer. Do not say that when the health budget of India is asked, that it's been very dismal. Health budget has been always 1.3% of GDP. Even our neighbor like Bangladesh spends 6% of GDP on the budget, which shows that it's a very poor state of affairs and health is not being prioritized. You can tell all those things, but at the end of the day, sir, India is trying really hard. But days are not too far before we increase the health budget, which is the need of the hour also. But at the same time, we should all understand that India has become the healthcare capital of the world also because medical tourism is directly coming to India now. And also, we should also, India showed the prowess in medical field when they manufactured vaccines and we gave for the entire world. And we should also show that now Hyderabad is becoming the hub for this thing, APIs and pharmaceuticals. You can talk about all these things. Okay. So have a positive ray of hope at the end also, so that it becomes much better at the end. Okay. So these are the FAQs also. But anyway, so all of you guys prepare your DAFs well, whatever formats we have done, everything perfectly. Like I think, hope all your doubts had some meaningful clarification in these sessions. Okay. So secondly is that whenever you guys are ready, we'll have one-on-one session with all of you. I'll be personally, but make sure because my schedule is little on and off here and there. So if you can intimate me at least one day in prayer, so that I'll give you a time slot on the next day itself. Okay. So that we'll have a. I personally feel rather than asking questions to me, first have a proper mock interview kind of one-on-one with me, at least for 5-6 questions. I'll ask. Then I'll give you some opinion from my end. Okay. Then you can, whatever questions you have, please note down and you can clarify it there at that time. That will be the format for the one-on-one. Okay. Yes, Ayush.
So how to contact you? So
Yeah,
like
guys,
yes.
you can contact via the institute, okay,
Okay, sir.
or
Okay.
kindly take down my number.
Yes.
Sometimes I don't respond to the phone calls. Please leave me a
Okay.
WhatsApp message. I'll always be getting back to you.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Fine. But as I said in the beginning itself, this is not about too much of reading all these things. Just stay positive, stay motivated. You're gonna rock it. That's all. Okay, that's it from my end. Any doubts? Yeah, please, Aditya, go ahead.
Sir, regarding state-specific questions, so which state should we prepare? The state which we have selected as home state, or the state from where we have come, like the place
Yeah,
of
Aditya,
origin?
that's what now this becomes a tricky question. I told you last time also, na? Whatever is there, see that home state option they don't normally that is not in their lens because it's a very, very small thing in the DAF. What they will see is your address initially. That will be the most prominent thing. And where you have done your schooling college. That will be the most prominent thing actually for them. But sometimes the board may because they go through your DAF, they would have seen the other thing also. So there is no question of which state I should prepare. If you have two states in your thing, be prepared for both the things. That is the best way. This answer cannot be answered by anyone, Aditya. You have to prepare for both the states. There is no exception to it. But you can always tell that some things you do not know. You can say that you do not know. It's fine. Yes, I.
Sir, I want to ask, sir, apart from reading newspaper and collecting information on the topics, sir, I am preparing for my DAF keywords and my state from previous year transcript questions. So apart from that, what should I do, sir? Like, I don't know what to predict. Like,
Yeah. See, that is what now. So you see the DAFs, you will get an idea how questions are coming. Then you just switch off everything and you put. See, we are all experts already. First, imagine that way. What questions you will ask
okay, sir.
right now? Say, for example, what are your hobbies?
Sir, playing football, long distance running, and skating.
Let's say for example, immediately I'm not like getting so many things, but football may important things. See, they can ask you comparison of why is Messi the best player or Ronaldo the best player? Why do you think do you think Ballon d'Or award is
Mhm.
always prejudiced towards few countries and few players?
Okay, such
If you are a
question. Yes.
such questions only will ask you. So you try to frame questions like that. If you're long distance runner, they can ask you what is the distance of marathon, what is this new concepts of ultra marathon,
Yes.
etc., etc. What are the most important things you should do for running a marathon? Do you think anyone can run a marathon, or you need to be
Okay.
mentally and physically fit before these things? These are normal questions which people will have about it, right? So you just put those questions, write it in a piece of paper. I told you about the mirror bowl technique, right?
Yes.
Practice in front of your mirror.
Hmm.
Put those questions and daily practice such answers in front of you.
Okay. Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Done. Anything else?
And sir, about medical topics, IDI gave us a booklet regarding the
Yeah.
topics. That is enough,
Yeah.
right?
That is. I'm not fully gone through it. See,
Okay.
whatever is there, you just have the basic things, but transcripts also will help you, and you yourself can put in. There is nothing much they want to. But be prepared for questions on medical ethics. Medical
Okay.
ethics is always a question in any board you go because they all have a perception that doctors are not ethical now. They have a perception. Like when you see police from outside, how a normal man feels. Police are always corrupt. Like that, doctors are always corrupt. That perception is always there nowadays. Okay,
Okay.
so have some examples, good examples, bad examples, everything.
Okay.
Okay,
Sure.
have that in mind.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Anything else? Should I clarify?
So in my interview, 3 months are there. 3 months time is there. So how shall I go? Because it's
You
becoming too tedious, too long.
yeah. So do not go too hard on interview right now. I told you already, right? If you have more time, what you should do? Go back to your mains papers. I told you. It I may found very silly, but I have seen that this time you won't get it back again. And in case you are planning to give next attempt also, I'm telling you that till you see your name on the final list and on the top services, your journey is not over in this exam. Please be practical about it. Okay? 3 months, that means you need to little bit do on prelims also now because again next prelims will come immediately. So let me talk about that in person to you. You just give me a message, we'll talk about it. Let me not demotivate other people here. Let them focus only on interview right now. Okay? Done. All the best. Okay. Hello, and those people who joined me for the first time today, I'll just give. I have some work to be done now. I think Nish and two other people were there, right? Okay. So for
Sir,
them,
I will go
Gurudayal.
back to videos that
yeah.
were being provided. Sir, I will.
Exactly. You go back to that's what I was trying to tell. You please get the videos, go to there also, please get those videos. If there's anything, I'll have a special session separately for you guys. You just give me a message, I'll talk to you. Don't worry about it.
Okay, sir. Thank
Okay?
you, sir.
Fine. So all the very best, guys. I'll just take a break now and let's meet on these one-on-one sessions. Okay. Harish, do you have anything? Okay, fine. Thank you, Harish.
Thank
All the best.
thank
Thank
you.
you.